I just had one show with Mr. Mark Morano, and he was there. He was in Davos. And I asked him what was the main topic, and he said that Trump stole the whole event. Can you tell us now what has changed after Donald J. Trump came into power? What happened with Davos and with all these international organizations?
Well, I think especially in this second term, where he actually has a cabinet that is on his same wavelength and is acting, with one voice, they have made very clear, the Commerce Secretary said it at Davos, globalization is a failure. And the World Economic Forum was created to enforce and propagate globalization. So their trip to Davos was very, very clear. We are no longer playing by those globalist rules. But I think the other very important thing that happened at Davos, and this is what I believe is important, for a lot of your viewers, is the speech that was given by the trade ambassador, Jameson Greer. Because what he had a speech which was entitled The Hamiltonian Economics, which too many have forgotten. And I think this is really fundamental because the problem that many people have in trying to understand the world is they've been fed two false choices in terms of what you must choose between. On the one hand, you either have big government or socialism and communism. On the other hand, you have free market, free trade, anything goes kind of capitalism. Now, let's say you're a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old in the United States or maybe anywhere else. You have lived through the consequences of the failure of free trade capitalism with the 2008 collapse and everything that came before, deindustrialization, and has come after. So you say, oh, well, I don't like that. It's a failure. It is. I guess I'm a socialist. And you can see the same thing on the other side. What's missing, and this is where the trade ambassador's speech is so important, is that what has been written out of history for the past 100 years is the American system of political economy, which is neither communist nor free market capitalist. It says you don't measure your economic activity from the standpoint of who controls the money, how much money you can collect, and so on. That's what free trade does. I'll make a better profit, and then we're going to leave our working class in the dust. The American system says, no, economics is about physical economic production. Are we producing what we need as a nation more efficiently, with better technologies, with higher standards of living, and so on? That is the American system. And the British imperial system has hated the American system since its inception under the Washington administration. They've killed the presidents, pushed it, like Abraham Lincoln and William McKinley. And now, for the first time in more than 100 years, you have an administration which is explicitly reviving the American system, which is actually your only defense against globalization, against this kind of rapacious free market capitalism. And that's why I think the ambassador's speech at Davos was one of the most important speeches in decades. And I encourage people to read it because it will be a revelation. Again, there is something other than these two failed systems that we've been told we have to choose between.